Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk about where to live in Baltimore, Maryland. So if you're coming to the area and you're new to the area like I did several years ago, Baltimore can be a little bit of a a tough place to figure out. Unfortunately, Baltimore does not have the best reputation. It's kind of got that stigma to it. So today I wanted to talk about areas that I'm familiar with, have become more familiar with over the years, areas that maybe you will consider living in, and just kind of give you a little bit of education on some different areas in Baltimore. I am going to stick to the county parts today, so we're not really going to talk about the city. And the interesting thing about Baltimore is that if you're looking like online and you're hopping on Realtor.com or Zillow and looking at homes, you're going to see, even in the county, you're going to see a lot of Baltimore, and that can be a little misleading or a little confusing because your mind might jump right to the city. But in reality, for whatever reason in Maryland, our tax records for a lot of the county parts of Baltimore surrounding the Beltway are still called Baltimore, even though they're, when you actually get here and you start talking to people, you hear the different, town names and the city names. So that's something that you want to be aware of. So for example, in Southeast Baltimore County, you've got like Catonsville, and then you've got Arbutus and Halethorpe and Lansdowne, right? So 21227 zip code here in Baltimore County is, Baltimore, but and it's labeled as Baltimore in most listings. But when you start talking to people and you start getting into these areas, 21227 zip code in Baltimore County is made up of 3 different unincorporated towns, basically. So you've got Lansdowne inside the county, or inside the Beltway, excuse me. And then on the outside of the Beltway, you've got Arbutus and Halethorpe. So it's really not necessarily Baltimore City at all, and it can be very confusing if you're not really expecting that. And then if you move just north up the Beltway, you've got Catonsville. Catonsville is made up of zip codes 21228 and 21229. 21229 actually does stretch into the city. So if you're looking to stay in the county, you want to be strictly looking at 21228, and you're going to see Catonsville labeled as Baltimore a lot. But Catonsville is not Baltimore City. It is Baltimore County, and very suburban feel and vibe to it. So just kind of something to keep in mind when you're looking at homes and you're kind of doing your research, to kind of keep an eye out for that. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel where we talk about all things living here in the great state of Maryland. So if you're looking to move to the area from outside of Maryland, if you're looking to even just visit and looking to learn more about Maryland, we try to touch on it all here. So feel free to subscribe, hit the like button so you can learn all things about living here in Maryland. And if you ever have any questions looking to move to the area, we love talking to people and helping people make that transition and that move here to Maryland. We definitely have your back when moving to Maryland, and feel free to reach out anytime. Okay, so today we're talking about where to live in Baltimore. And as I mentioned in the intro, I am going to stick to Baltimore County. So we're mainly going to be talking about areas around Baltimore's Beltway, which is 695. And I first want to start in the southeast area of Baltimore County. So first we're going to start off talking about Catonsville, which is made up of 2 zip codes. So if you're looking online, looking at homes, you're going to notice 21228, which is going to be the majority of Catonsville if you're looking there. And 21229 also has some Catonsville. I will tell you that 21229, a good chunk of it does stretch into Baltimore City. So that's something you want to be aware of depending on what you're looking for, specifically what areas you're going to look at. Baltimore City's property taxes do jump up. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. On average, you're looking at Baltimore's property tax rate of being around 2.25%. Of the sales price. Baltimore County is going to be closer to about 1. It can be close to double. So one of the cool things I love about Catonsville is it really does have it all. It's got all the retail, all the shopping that you're going to need. So Route 40 is kind of a main road. It's not a highway really. It's a road that cuts through Catonsville. It goes straight into Baltimore City. And when you head east, and then if you head west, it's going to take you into Howard County through Ellicott City. So it really does have it all as far as shopping and all that kind of stuff. I was actually at Antwerpen Hyundai the other day. My sedan's transmission went out, so I was forced to jump into the car market, which was fun. So I was actually at the Toyota dealership right at the corner of 40 and Rolling Road there. They had no cars. They had absolutely nothing. I was looking for some kind of SUV. I'm a taller guy. I'm 6'4", 6'5". So the sedans weren't cutting it anymore, and they had nothing. So I had to go next door to the Hyundai dealership. was able to find a Santa Fe that was available. So they took good care of me there. So you've got everything that you're going to need. It's going to be within Catonsville, especially on Route 40 is where you're going to see a lot of that retail and a lot of, the shopping and all that kind of stuff. And then from Route 40, if you just head south a little bit on 695 on Baltimore's Beltway, you're going to hit 144, which is Frederick Road. And then you've kind of got right there outside the Beltway, you've got Catonsville's kind of little downtown area where they got a lot of cool little restaurants and cool eateries and stuff like that. So that's something I would check out. And then if you keep taking that west, you're going to run into Main Street of Old Ellicott City, which is one of my favorite spots. And their Patapsco River there is actually the county line. So once you hit that, you've basically entered into Howard County, but they're both right there on the side of the river there. And Old Ellicott City is an awesome place. It's a historic district, and it's just a great place to go and hang out for, a weekend night or whatever. They're going to have a lot of entertainment and a lot of cool little breweries and spots to hit up there. So that's something I would definitely check out. And the homes in this area are awesome. Catonsville in general does have a good amount of historic homes, but specifically in that near that Old Ellicott City area, Oella is still kind of on that Catonsville side. If you like historic homes, if you like that style, you're going to see a lot of that there. So homes built in the late 1800s, early 1900s. So it's got a very cool, vibe and a lot of cool styles out there. That's kind of a fun environment right there in that area. And then if you continue to head south on Baltimore's Beltway, you're going to hit zip code 21227. And as I mentioned, 21227 zip code is made up of 3 different areas within it. So you've got inside the Beltway, you've got Lansdowne. And then outside the Beltway, you've got Arbutus and Halethorpe. So of the 3, Lansdowne is not as well known for its schools. So that's just something to keep in mind depending on what you're looking for. And then outside the Beltway, Arbutus has a really cool little downtown area. They've got a little theater there. They've got shopping and some restaurants. DePaula's is one of my favorites. If you're looking for like a good burger joint and just some good, classic American food, I would definitely check that out. Their burgers are massive, so you have to go there hungry. And typically what we do is after going to the Guinness factory, which is just a few minutes away, right on like the Elkridge Arbutus line there, that's where we'll head to get some food and a couple drinks and stuff like that. So Arbutus is definitely a really cool little vibe down there, small town vibe, even though you're kind of still in Baltimore County and kind of have a lot going on around you. So that's an area I would definitely check out. And then if you are a beer fan like myself, Baltimore's got a ton of cool breweries, and within Halethorpe is called Heavy Seas Brewery. It's my wife's favorite. She loves their beers. They just recently, probably in the last 2 months, reopened because of COVID. They were shut down for a while, but they are reopened. They've got a food truck that comes a lot, and their beer is great. So I would definitely check that out too if you're a beer fan. And then next, if you continue to move south from Halethorpe and Arbutus, you're going to hit Linthicum. Now, Linthicum is actually Anne Arundel County, so you're going to cross over the Baltimore County line into Anne Arundel County there in Linthicum. But Linthicum does have that Baltimore vibe to it, so it's something that I wanted to talk about. It is a really cool little area, zip code 21090 if you're looking at homes or looking on a map. You can check out that area. It's got a lot of different historic homes as well, just a lot of cool character in the homes out there. So it's an area I wanted to mention. And it's proximity to Baltimore. So if you're looking to be like in the county, in the suburbs, but you're commuting into Baltimore, or if you need to be close to BWI, if you do a lot of traveling, Linthicum is right there. So it's an area that's, depending on your needs and what you're looking for, definitely an area to check out. And BWI is pretty much right in Linthicum. So that is something you want to keep in mind. You may hear some planes depending on the part that you're at. Linthicum and Glen Burnie and parts of Severn are going to be the noisiest just because of its proximity to BWI. But there's parts where you don't hear it all that much. So something to check out in a really cool area there as well. All right, so moving north from there up the Beltway, wanted to mention a couple of different areas. Reisterstown and Finksburg, they kind of are right next to each other. And if you're looking for a little more space, looking for maybe a larger lot, a little more space between you and your neighbors, these are a couple cool areas to check out. Finksburg is Carroll County, but it's just past Reisterstown, which is Baltimore County. So, depending on what you're looking for, depending on how close you need to be, maybe to Baltimore, these are some areas you can check out. They are right basically close to 795, and 795 goes straight south into the Beltway. So it does provide that commuting. It's just a little further, but it's not like it's a bunch of back roads or anything like that. You do have a good solid highway that's going to take you right into the Beltway to get you to wherever you need to go in the Baltimore area. I will say, if you're looking for newer homes, you are going to see more newer homes up in these areas because they are currently less developed. So there's just more space for that. So you are going to see that up there, and those are some areas to check out if maybe you are looking for that space, or maybe you want to get a little more removed from Baltimore. That's going to give you that option, but it's still going to give you a decent commute. So from Finksburg and Reisterstown, depending on the part you're at, you're probably 25 minutes, 30 minutes to the city, because you're right there. 795 will take you to the Beltway, and then you can get down to 95, or you can head to 83, which will cut you right into the city. All right, another really cool thing about this general area. So if you like to get outdoors, if you like to hike and do stuff like that, just get out into the woods. Soldier's Delight is kind of right there in that area. We always just call it Soldiers. So this is 1,900 acres of I think it's state land. And it's got 7 miles of marked hiking and trails and stuff like that. So if you want to get outdoors and you want to have that nearby, this is a great benefit of that kind of Reisterstown, Owings Mills area, as well as Finksburg. So it's kind of like right up in there. It does back up to Liberty Lake, which is that Carroll County, Baltimore County divider there. So you're kind of right there. And Liberty Lake is a really cool area too. So you can fish, you can get out there and kind of be near the water and stuff like that. So that's a really cool area if that's something you're looking for, that I would definitely check out. So if you head south from there down 795 to the Beltway, surrounding the Beltway right there in that area is an area called Pikesville, and it's zip code 21208. And this is one of Maryland's largest Jewish communities. So if that's something you're looking for, you're going to find that there, and that's something that I would check out. A lot of Pikesville is inside the Beltway, so its proximity to Baltimore is great, and it's a great little area. It's got a lot of different shopping and a lot of great housing and stuff like that. So you are right there surrounding the Beltway as far as for commuting, and then you're just minutes away from 83, which will cut you into the city and get you wherever you need to go. So Pikesville is another cool area to check out. All right, and then just north from there, you're going to head up towards 83, and right there along the Beltway around 83, you've got Towson, you've got Lutherville, Timonium. Now, a couple things I will say about Towson is you've got you got the university there right inside the Beltway, so you've kind of got, depending on the part of Towson, you've got like a kind of inside that Beltway parts, you've got like a very kind of city feel, university feel. There's a lot more going on. Outside of the Beltway, you're gonna get that suburban feel and that county feel back. Lutherville, Timonium are right there as well as you kind of hit 83 North, and that's a very suburban feel there too. So if you're looking for the detached homes, a little bit of the larger yards, you're gonna see that in those areas. And then heading up 83 North, you've got like cool little areas like Hunt Valley, you've got Cockeysville, and then 83 North will take you all the way up to the Pennsylvania state line, and all of that is Baltimore County. Baltimore County is massive. So if you're looking for space, if you're looking for different, things that are just getting away from the Beltway, getting away a little bit from the busyness, you're going to have a ton of options heading up 83. I will say about 83, if you're coming from 83, if you're coming from outside of the Beltway, north of the Beltway, down 83 south, 83 does not connect directly. It doesn't pass straight through the Beltway. It's kind of weird. You've got to get onto the Beltway south for 1.5 miles and then get back onto 83 south. So if you're coming from north of the Beltway, heading into the city, unfortunately, you have to hop on the Beltway, which just makes it a little inconvenient during rush hour times and stuff like that. So something to be aware of there as well. All right, and then last few areas I want to mention in Baltimore County is going to be, if you're looking at Baltimore's Beltway, this is going to be like at the top of the circle, like 11, 12 o'clock. You're going to have Parkville, Nottingham, White Marsh. You're going to have those areas right there. And these areas, especially outside of the Beltway, you're going to see it's still got that suburban vibe, a lot of clean, nice neighborhoods up there. So that's something to check out. As you head up as you hit 95 and head north, that's all Baltimore County until you hit Joppa. Joppa then becomes Hartford County. 95 North is going to take you straight up to Philly. So there's certain areas there, but still a lot of Baltimore County in that region. So depending on where you're looking for, how close you need to be to certain areas, that's an area I would check out. From the Beltway, as you hit 95 and you head south, that is going to turn into a toll road. So it's kind of inconvenient if you're not willing to take tolls. To get to the southern part of Baltimore, you got to hop on that beltway and kind of go all the way around. If you are willing to take tolls, 95 South is going to give you a couple options to kind of shorten that distance if you need to get from like the northern part of Baltimore County down to the south or southeast part of it. So you're going to have Fort McHenry Highway, and then you're also going to have the Harbor Tunnel, which is 895, to kind of cut that distance so you don't have to go all the way around. So I've done both, and I'm convinced now. I got my easy pass, and I'm not messing with going all the way around. So if you got to go from like Linthicum up to White Marsh or Dundalk or something like that, I mean, that's just the commute could be close to, 1.5 times, twice as long. So something you want to consider there, depending on what kind of commuting you're going to be doing and where you need to go. All right, everyone, thanks so much for watching. Hope you learned something new. If you ever need anything at all, please feel free to reach out, and we'll see you at the next video.